Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Theatre Pitch podcast. My name is Jem. This is Sean.
Hello.
And this is Joe.
Hiya.
And together we make the Theatre Pitch podcast, the podcast where we take a random online encyclopedia article every week and we come up with how we would pitch that to be a theatre show. I think that's the worst intro I've done so far.
You said you were rehearsing this.
I did rehearse it. I just got really nervous about messing my own name up again like I did in rehearsals, and then when I got my name right and got your names right, I got too excited and I forgot, oh yeah, there's another bit.
I mean, yeah, if I can give notes next time round, might be good to start with what the podcast is, not who we are.
Joe, have you missed something though? Gemma said rehearsals. Now, I weren't invited to these rehearsals. Were you invited to these rehearsals?
Even if I was, would I have turned up?
Well, you would have been like 20 minutes late, but I think you would have.
Eventually.
So, Jem, do you want me to tell the people at home what we're doing this week?
Yes, you took the words straight out of my mouth. It's like we've rehearsed it.
So this week, we are going to be presenting to you our pitches on how we are adapting the article about Irving Kane Pond. Irving Kane Pond was an American architect, college athlete and author. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan on May the 1st, 1857, he obtained a degree in civil engineering from University of Michigan, was the first member of the University of Michigan football team to score a touchdown, and he would go on to have an illustrious architectural career predominantly around the Chicago area. So yes, that's right, we're back in the Windy City. Second time in 3 episodes, baby!
And I'm off to a really good start because on my notes I've written the title, but instead of writing Irving Kane Pond, I wrote Irving King Pond. So we're off to a good start. Who wants to pitch first?
Well, Jem, I believe you pitched first last week, didn't you? And
No,
I
me.
pitched first. Oh, was
I
it you?
pitched first.
Was it you
I
last
picked-
week, Sean? In that
Yeah.
case, Jem, as you're the only one who hasn't pitched first this series, why don't you?
Oh, great. The one time my notes are wrong and small. Okay, that's fine. Right. So, this article was incredibly
Everyone get
long.
comfortable.
Get comfy, because the article was long, and I might have to improvise a little bit as to how to find the end of the show. But the one thing that I was really taken on and taken with this article is the whole house project that Pond did with Jane Addams, which was all about creating a settlement house, which was a big movement at the time to take the richest and the poorest and put them in the same space so that culturally they can merge cultures and have exposure to each other and each other's cultures and into education and such like that. And I was really taken by that, and the fact that it turned into this huge project that this young architect took on with his brother. And now there is only one building that remains, which is the 1905 dining house, which from the 60s has been made a historic building, so nothing can touch it. So my show very much plays on this idea of bringing light and dark and hard and soft and honesty and dishonesty, because Pond's father was a member of the Senate, but he is an artist. So you've got a little bit throughout the article. I got the idea, and that his father was quite harsh and quite medical and quite very much influencing the architectural side that this artist would then go into. So the show that I am pitching, which doesn't have a title this week, is a dinner held in the dining hall, the actual dining hall that still stands. And it's a dinner where Pond Senior, so Irving Pond's father, has invited all of the audience as his guests to have a dinner party. And his son, Irving Pond, is there. He's recently graduated from university. He's this accomplished person, and he's finally starting to understand who he is and form his own actual identity, as you do after uni. And as part of this, Pond has brought along Jane Addams, who was a renowned social figure in the reformist movement at the time, as well as a sort of less well-off acquaintance. Now, Daddy Pond is sitting there and is representing very much the snobbery that comes with privilege, and is quite disdainful of why, and doesn't understand why his son is associating himself with, never mind bringing along to this prestigious dinner party, an Oliver type. And over dinner, it's kind of dinner theatre, without the corniness of dinner theatre. You go through the drama of this interaction between father and son, who represent, the hard by law and the social reformist, and then Jane Addams is thrown in there as well as the female in this hierarchy. Lots of drama, lots of nice things that happen, but essentially it's pointing towards this message of, and I think it's relevant to our times now, where in a lot of societies where we assume that this doesn't exist anymore, but the poverty gap is so wide that the rich people are billionaires and the poor people can't get by, especially now in the time that we've been living in for the last year. That's been really, really evident. And I really wanted to highlight how the need to stop the furthering of that distance from happening, and bring bring wealth and lack of wealth together, bring all of these things together to stop people being uneducated, to give people opportunities, to eradicate privilege, and to really have that discussion of how inherently birth is political, but how in life we can put things in place to depoliticize birth. But we can also, I really liked the idea, and I couldn't quite fully form it in the time that I had, this idea that this whole village was built by Pond, and yet now, not that, 100 years after it was built, not even, one building remains. And it's this lack of commitment to social reform and change and eradicating that gap, because we always keep coming back to it. So it's inherently a political play, but it's set in the dining hall. The style is very, very naturalistic. It's almost immersive, but it's very much over dinner with these people, so that you as an audience member are thrown into the socio-political side of this debate. A cast of many. I think a cast would depend on, I don't know how big the dining hall was. I couldn't really find floor plans. But yeah, so it's inherently a political show, but it's done through some immersive fun with a really great menu.
So it's like...
Any questions?
Yeah. So it's like a clash of classes over dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Could you do something with the menu, perhaps? Could you have one side is ham toasties, and the other side is beef Wellington?
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Joe.
Or
I know middle class meals.
I do like how even when you're going for a middle class meal, Sean, you go for the thing that is just brown filled with beef.
I didn't want to go for falafel. I thought it was too obvious.
For anyone not aware of Sean's dietary habits, it has to be brown.
Don't shame me in front of 7 people.
I'm not shaming you. I have supported you in your life decision. I'm just aware that brown, covered in brown, might confuse some members of our listening audience.
And Sean, come on. I think you're being
They can stay
bit.
confused.
You're exaggerating a little bit if you think we're shaming you in front of 7 people.
I eat pizzas. There's a lot of colour there, and
Also, we can't even criticize Sean. He has told me that he eats salads for lunch now.
That's true. I'm very proud of you, Sean. I really am really proud of you. Right, before this turns into the off-menu podcast...
Gemma had a serious point, guys.
I know, and I really like that. It sounds really condescending right now, because I'm still feeling the pride that you eat salad.
Don't patronise me because I have a celery now and then. Come on. Let's crack on.
Even I don't have raw celery. Don't like the stuff.
So Gemma's show, it's on. Is the audience on the table with them?
I mean, they're not being served, but yeah, the audience are at the table.
They're at the table. Okay, so they're not being. So they're not eating. The audience members aren't eating.
No, I meant the audience aren't on the table being served. They are being served. Oh my goodness! All of the words are compounding English language. The audience are at the dining table having dinner with the cast members the cast members enact the storyline.
Yeah, okay. So they fly on the walls of this.
No, because fly on the walls sort of suggests that the audience don't really interact with the cast, whereas I think the cast, it will be one of those, like, the dad doesn't want to make a scene, and it's kind of playing on that immersive thing. So it
changes the context a little bit. So it's a big dinner instead of it being a dad, his son, and his son's friends.
His dad. The dad has invited all of these people to dinner, and the people are the audience.
Okay, so that changes it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just checking, just asking.
Yeah. Any other questions? No?
Not for me.
Joe, I'm nominating you because you ganged up on me to make me go first.
I liked it, Gemma. I liked it.
I liked it.
All right.
I'm annoyed I didn't find a proper ending.
So you don't need an ending. It can just go on. The ending can be, do you want pudding? And everyone goes, are you having pudding? And you're like, no, I don't think so.
You've got an easy out here, which is, if you read the article, you'll note that upon his scoring the first touchdown, the crowd of the University of Michigan did roar, "Pond forever." There's no reason for it to end. Pond forever.
I think just because there's food being served now, we want it to end. Eventually, you always want a dinner to end, let's be honest. Especially one where, like, people are bickering about social politics. Joe, would you like to pitch next?
I don't think you know me and Joe, because me and Joe are normally the ones bickering with, like, other family members.
True. I think we all are.
So,
Joe,
my pitch for this, well, I did have an idea for it, and then I decided I had a better one just now. Which, originally, I was going to pitch, of course. Everyone knows that the best kind of story truly is a romance involving old people. So I was going to pitch the fact that, essentially, the story of Irving Kane Pond, he is an almost lifelong bachelor till at age 72, he meets and marries a woman 25 years his younger, who he then continues to live with for the rest of their lives until she, once again, 25 years his junior, dies 4 years before him. And this is after, for the entirety of his life, his brother had been his best friend. But the story I want to tell is purely of the fact that part of this article mentions, aged 80, he did a backflip while keeping his hands on his knees.
What?
So,
okay, I fell asleep before I got to this bit. Clearly I fell asleep before I got... Interesting.
So there's a comedian who I'm a big fan of called Demi Adejuibe, who last year, I think it was last year, it was late 2019, did a show in LA called Demi Adejuibe is going to do one backflip. and it was an hour-long comedy show in which the premise was essentially him building up to doing a backflip. Now, this isn't so impressive when you consider that he is a 26-year-old guy. You know, kind of him doing a backflip, that's just something he can do. Now, a play about an 80-year-old man doing a backflip while keeping his hands on his knees. That's a play. That in itself is a play. I just want it to be a talk from an 80-year-old man in which we find an 80-year-old man who can do this. We spend an hour dissecting the nature of architecture, of art, of football. We tell stories from the life of Irving Kane Pond. But it's all just a build-up to at the end of it, he does a backflip. End of pitch.
It sounds like the article. It sounds like you've embodied the article.
Yeah.
Can we also have this 80-year-old who can do a backflip? Can the show be raising funds for the NHS?
Yeah. At the end of the final line of the play is, well, I've done a backflip. Now I'm going to go and have sex with my young wife.
Stay home, keep safe. Okay.
But yeah, any questions?
How would you do a backflip with your
I don't know.
hands on your knees?
I don't know how you do it with your hands on your knees.
I don't know how you do a backflip, to be honest.
Lots of core strength. Lots of core strength.
I am thinking we might need to cheat a little and find a gymnast and put them in old age makeup.
Yeah.
Purely because I don't know how likely we are to find an 80-year-old actor who can do a backflip.
Well, if there is anybody listening to this podcast who knows of an elderly relative or friend or somebody in your village that can do a backflip, and they must be, what, plus 70? Just to give us a little leeway?
Yeah.
Get in touch.
You know what? I'm gonna accept it. If they're in their 60s
so
but they look
Gemma.
older than their age, send in the clips.
Gemma's so Gem. If there's anybody in your village who can do it, let us know.
Honestly,
Even
if
though
we
Gemma
can
lives
find
in
somebody...
London, she's like, if you live in a village, woo-doo-doo.
I mean, in my head, like, old people don't live in London. They live in villages like Pickering and Yorkshire. No,
And Midsummer.
I mean, honestly, if we can find somebody who's plus sort of 60 who can do backflip, plus 70 would be even better. Then I will make this show. Then Joe wins.
Oh,
pitch for this week.
By the way, I will point out that an early piece that I will throw in here that I forgot to mention a thing about this that can link both mine and Jem's shows together already is he did this 80th birthday handspring. It was on his 80th birthday that he performed this.
Birthday party.
So we can make it a birthday party for an 80-year-old man who's doing a backflip.
I like it. So let's see. Can Sean pitch something that fits in with a birthday party that's also about social reform? Sean!
Gemma, you've interrupted Joe. He was about to tell us the most important thing of his pitch.
Oh, what?
Sorry.
You mean the local theatre spotlight?
Local regional theatre spotlight.
Yes!
Yeah, because I can't be bothered to go over to find out if the Hull House Theatre is still standing, we're instead just going to perform it at the Hull Truck Theatre, which, once again, lovely little local theatre. Support it when it's open again.
Great, so the Truck Theatre in Hull, up in the north.
No, in
Right.
all.
In Hull. Sean,
Yeah.
I'm dropping the northern accent now. Sean,
Hi.
would you like to pitch your show?
So I'm really glad I didn't follow Gemma's. I'm just getting me laptop open for notes because mine's ridiculous. Okay.
More ridiculous than I'm like an octogenarian doing
I
backflips.
won't lie. Like Joe's is. So I feel like I'm the only one who like saw the bit where it was like he scored the literal first point for his college football team and didn't think, yes, I need to go on to that. So that is where I was. I was like, okay, college football. So then I did some research into the college football team of the University of Michigan. And firstly, they're called the Wolverines. So I was like, I like that.
Okay.
I like that. And also,
Yeah, you could have got that from the article as well. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's actually read it this week.
All right, I've read more than the article. So then I was like, okay. So I'm going deep onto the university. So the college. Sorry, it's America. So I went onto the college website and I was like, okay, so what courses do they do? Okay, so I went on. Yeah, as you do.
Long story short, Sean has applied to the University of Michigan.
I have applied to.
Sean now lives in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm moving there to do jazz and contemporary improvisation. Can't wait. No. So, what do you know about American football, Gemma? Tell me the one thing that probably everyone knows about American football.
They have to wear big shoulder pads.
No,
and
that's the
tackle
wrong
people.
one thing that everyone knows about American football.
Hey, Sean, is it the Super Bowl?
Touchdown!
It's the Super Bowl. Thank you, Joe. And what does everyone know about the Super Bowl?
The halftime show's
The
great.
halftime show. Right. So this is my idea. Right. I am going to do a halftime show at the last home game of the University of Michigan American football team. Yep.
Okay.
And it's all based on Pond. It's all based on Pond and what he's done.
Pond forever.
Yeah. So think London Olympics opening. You know where it was like, oh, all this stuff, all this like, oh, isn't Britain great? Bada 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 bada. It's that, but it's all about one man. It's all about what he's done for like the class system, all the buildings that he's made. It's all about that, and it ends with a recreation of the first touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But you want to know, okay, so what sort of style is the halftime show in? Right? This is why I was on their website to see, like, what they do. Right, so it's in the style. There's going to be a lot of singing, because they do a lot of musical theatre courses, and they do a lot of dance. So there's going to be a lot of dance, there's going to be a lot of movement, physical theatre, you know, with singing over the top as they like recreate buildings, as they like show like, oh, I'm a lower class, you're a higher class, but let's all come together. And then they all do a quick costume change to like, one's the colour of an away team, one's the colour of a home team, and they recreate that touchdown that he scored, and it ends and everyone cheers. And then I thought, okay, so where would I perform that? Well, I'd perform it in their stadium. And I was just curious, like, how big their football team stadium is. Just going to throw it out to guys. Now, think of our university. Think of, like, our university's sports fields. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can I guess how many seaters it is?
Yeah.
Because I
Have a
know
guess.
college football's a big thing in America. But I'm not certain Michigan's one of the bigger schools. So I'm going to guess a conservative 5,000.
5,000. Okay. 5,000. Gemma, what do you think?
3,020.
Higher or lower? Higher or lower than the 5? Lower.
Lower.
So it is so much higher. So much higher.
I
Right.
I had a feeling it would be, but I thought if I said like 100,000 and then you were like, no, it's 10,
the
it would
college,
be an impressive.
This is the college football team and also the venue of my performance, right? And I'm going to put this into context for you. Wembley Stadium is about 90,000.
Are you saying it's
What?
more than Wembley?
But it's more than Wembley.
So are you saying that if I'd gone for my original thinking of 50,000, I wouldn't have been ridiculous?
You wouldn't have been close. Their stadium is 107,601.
I can't even imagine that many people.
I've seen
Are you
pictures.
sure you're not putting
Sean,
in zeros?
can I just say one thing? No offense, I think we've got a better chance of selling out the whole truck theatre than we do
Yeah,
the
but
University of Michigan
Joe,
football
no,
stadium.
yeah, but Joe, I am gonna sell out because do you wanna know why? Because they're not coming for my show. They're coming for the football.
They're going for the game.
Yep, I'm gonna have a sellout.
Wait, so are you
Genius!
trying to perform this entire show in like the 15 minutes of half time?
Yes, I'm gonna get the whole performing arts department from that college to be involved. There's gonna be bands. They've got like a composing course. There's gonna be music. There's gonna be movement. They've got a
Let the band kids rule.
They actually have got a course that I would be interested in, actually. They have a performing arts technology, so there's going to be like light shows, Joe. They can project images. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be buildings. And then at the end, they're going to recreate that touchdown that he scored. And everyone's going to go, Pond forever, Pond for... Well, until the next half.
I have to say that as much as Joe and my pitch is feasible and it's theatrical and it's everything we want from theatre, I want to see Sean's show more than any of the other ones.
Hey, mine's feasible
I mean-
and practical. I have a venue. I have a concept. I have multiple departments that I can use with as many performers that I want, because I can just tell them it's part of your degree and they'll do it.
Hey, Sean, if we do your idea, can I still try and get an 80-year-old man to do a backflip at the same time as the touchdown is laid?
Let me just check.
He's the mascot.
Let me just check what the age
The running
parameter
order
is on
is
the
so
courses.
Is there a gymnastics course? Because if so, we've looked out.
I feel like,
I can check.
honestly, if anybody listening has any connection to Michigan University,
Do not send
give
them
us a
this
shout.
podcast.
No, do send them this podcast. Give us a shout. Let's try amuse the students of Michigan. I like this idea. I'm kind of sort of in the phase where like this is the part of the show where we should smush all three ideas together. But I'm just like, I just want to see Sean's show.
I
course you
think
do.
we just do Sean's show, but with a backflip and a buffet.
Done.
So it.
A cross socio-political buffet. So we're representing all of the socio-cultural political elements within one buffet.
Yeah, it's a buffet, but Jem, you're allowed to be there while everyone's eating, just shouting at them about the socio-political issues associated with the buffet. I've just been like,
Don't.
before you take that cheese and pineapple on sticks, consider whether you would really, in terms of your class, go for the mature cheddar.
Joe, don't you pretend that you wouldn't be there screaming about sociopolitics at young students with me.
I'd be there screaming about the fact that an 80-year-old man did a backflip with his hands on his knees.
I love it. I also love how Sean is clearly embroiled in the search for the upper cap of age. I don't think there is, and I don't think
I'm
there
looking
should
for a
be. I think-
gymnastics course.
Now, by the way, University of Michigan, if you're now watching this and you need a new head of performing arts tech, Sean's available. I mean, he's not. He has a job, but...
I am actually. It's so weird you said that, because I did just do like my first micro teach for that teaching course thing I'm doing this week. So,
I'm so glad you said that and you didn't just say that you'd just gotten fired.
No.
I've got to be honest, my heart did go right into my mouth as soon as you said that.
I was going to start crying and just play the tears off with
It just-
wherever
We
just
want to
Sean
make it
was
clear,
sent.
Sean is very happy in his current job.
Yeah.
But if it means he can perform shows in a 107,000-seater arena, he will move.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's called the Big House.
He'll take his current job with him.
Did you say the stadium's called the Big House?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just blows my
That's
mind
brilliant.
that, like, if you think of when we were at university, like the football, the AstroTurf where the football matches happen, there were like 2 sheltered benches for the team, and like that was it.
It says it all that it's AstroTurf.
Yeah.
It's not even a football pitch. It's just an it's an astro pitch.
Hey Gemma,
yeah,
AstroTurf technology has come on really well. It's actually a really nice pitch. Actually, I think you'll find.
I don't disagree with you. As an ex-hockey player, I preferred AstroTurf to mud and grass. But you know,
Shouldn't
they
you have
also
been
have
playing it
cages
on
around
ice?
them for
And
a reason.
as a member of the Ultimate Frisbee Society for 1 week before I decided I had too many commitments, I don't think we use the AstroTurf.
Yeah. It gets you, doesn't it? When you go to that society fair, everyone's there like, "Oh, do you like this?" And you're like, "No."
To be honest, back in secondary school, I liked Ultimate Frisbee. I was pretty good at it.
I still don't understand what Ultimate Frisbee is.
It's like Frisbee, but it's the ultimate version. What's to understand?
I was literally about to make that same joke.
I understand the rules of literally playing Quidditch in our world, not in magical world, but playing Quidditch I understand more than I understand the rules of Ultimate Frisbee.
That's so weird that you have mentioned Quidditch, because you know on mine and Joe's other podcast we have broken down like the concept of making a Quidditch film and improving the rules of Quidditch.
Oh.
And let's not forget that, Sean, on that podcast, we did also, or I think I pitched an autumnal romance. So, you know, if you want to find out what my other pitch for Irving Kane Pond would have looked like, but with magic, go and check out Cannon Fodder with Joe and Joe.
There you go. I was about to say, stop teasing. Tell us where this podcast is. We need to know how to improve Quidditch so we can all get out there and.
I don't think that one's out yet. I don't think the other Joe has edited it.
By the time this comes out, it might be out. You never know.
It's going to be awkward if he cuts the episode.
Mine's a heist film.
Ooh.
With magic.
So
Gemma, let's smoosh these together. Are we doing that still?
We have just smooshed them together. I'm up for your show with a buffet and a backflipping old man.
I'm really happy about this one
out?
because I feel like, why don't they just do that anyway? Why isn't that just like part of their course to like do a halftime show? Because it's such a.
Are you sure it's not?
Such an American thing. Why aren't they all just like? Why isn't that their like APP? Why aren't like that part of their course?
I'd imagine it's because if you've got 107,000 people there to watch a football game, they're gonna boo the shit out of the art kids.
You don't want to risk art students being art students and drama students.
Have you never seen like an American high school film? I've seen High School Musical. I know that everyone starts being against the arts, and then all it takes is like one person from like the footballing world to like get involved with the arts, and then everyone gets on board.
This isn't a High School Musical, Sean. Just because Troy Bolton's on the field doesn't mean people are going to cheer.
That happens in so many American films, Joe. Right. Once we get past Act 2, everyone gets on board with the arts. Everyone knows that.
And have you noticed reality? We've been stuck in Act 1 since 1865.
Well, then it's coming.
Yeah. We're just going to ride the wave, Joe. Just going to ride the wave, Joe. Okay, are we going to attempt to actually smush these things together? Or are we happy?
I'm quite happy with the premise of halftime show with a backflipping old man and a socio-political buffet.
Before we stop, can you describe what that buffet would buffet would look like?
Have a steak.
Oh, I did forget to say, if you're wondering, I did have a title for mine that I wonder if we want to reference this, because I was really happy with this. It's called Irving Kane, A Drop in the Pond.
Oh, I mean, if it's Sean's show that we're going to go with as the basic premise.
Well, if it's Sean's show, we're going to go with it's the University of Michigan football halftime show.
Yeah, but we can have the pretentious artsy name that is also a pun at the bottom end of it, so that our art students don't feel lesser.
Yeah.
The performing arts technology students can project it into the sky.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
Gem.
wow.
We want at least 5 plates for each side of the socio-political divide. Describe the buffet. Go.
Go, Gemma. So one end, it starts with sausage rolls, and it gets classier as we move on.
Great
Yeah?
sausage rolls.
Yeah.
No, not
But the
Greg's.
other
I was
side
thinking
has-
like Tesco's, like mini bite ones.
Yeah. Oh,
But
mini
but
bar- I'm so
the
hungry.
other side has like some kind of artisan mushroom, like a mushroom duxelle with fennel and truffle roll.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what the hell
I'm
what was just said. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening to the Theatre Pitch podcast.
Joe, where are you putting the
so
hummus?
we have had, definitely gotta have some hummus and crisps. I'm backing that one up.
But the other side has
so-
chips and dips. Just a bag of
Oh my
bag of
God.
Tesco's tortillas and a pot of Doritos dip.
The
on it,
campus
brand
of this
placement.
college is amazing. They've got so many performance spaces as well. They have like a whole
Okay,
building
so
just to
what's-
dancing.
Whilst Sean is genuinely, apparently, considering going to Michigan College, we have had 4 different pitches. Well, let's be honest, we've had 3 different pitches. So anybody who's listening, let us know who you think's best. Let us know if you can see a better way of smushing it other than just football, buffet, and backflipping old man. But I'm going to hand over to Sean. Is this your bit? Or is it Joe's bit?
Okay, guys, so if you want to find out more about us, the podcast, the company, what we're doing, hopefully we'll be going to the Edinburgh Fringe, maybe not, who knows, the world. So if you want to find that,
Probably.
you can go to ofitd.com. You can search us on Google. Do that, you'll find our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It is pretty much all at OFITD. If you want to carry on watching the podcast on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, do the other stuff, let people know. People might be interested in performing arts courses in Michigan. They may need to see this podcast. Okay.
We are not sponsored by them.
No, we're not. We should be.
should be.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to do that, follow us. Oh, yeah, of course. And if you want to see like my Instagram, my Twitter, it's still Shawnee B. If you want to see more of Gemma's face on Instagram and Twitter, it is
OFITD_Gem with a J.
Gem. Why do you always take so long to do?
It's coming through. I'm in sync with you, Sean.
How are ya?
Blame the internet.
Oh, I think it's my internet. Hey Joe,
Yeah.
you know if people wanted to see more of you on say like Twitter and all your funny things you say, where could they find you?
If they want to find me on Twitter, do you want me to tell them?
Yeah, if you want.
You can find me at Not Joe Ranchia. That's NOTJOERACZKA on Twitter. Also on Instagram, but don't follow me there. I'm very dull. And you can also find me on Can and Father with Joe and Joe, as previously mentioned, and Boat Club, either on YouTube or Boat Club Improv on your podcasting app.
God, we're so slick.
We are.
And with that, shall I tell the good people at home what we're going to be talking about next week?
And us as well, because I'm genuinely a bit worried.
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah.
No, I don't want you to
Yeah,
know.
like,
I only want
it's-
them to know.
It's not Chinese whispers, although that would be fun.
Hey, yeah, people at home, this is just for you. If Jem's listening, stop. Next week, we're going to be doing Popeye Village. Popeye Village, also known
In
as
Malta?
Sweet Haven Village, is a purpose-built film set village that's been converted into a small attraction fun park, consisting of a collection of rustic and ramshackle wooden buildings. It is located at Prayet Bay / Anchor Bay in the village of Mulcha in Malta.
In Malta, I've been
Oh.
there. I've been there.
You've been.
I've been there
Oh.
as like
Have you been
as a
to
kid.
Malta or have you been to this Popeye village?
I've been to both. I've been to both.
Whoa.
Basically, one year my dad decided, oh, I don't want to go to Benidorm this year. Let's go somewhere else. So we went to Malta.
Yeah.
I've been
If
there.
people are wondering more about this was the set for the 1980s film of Popeye starring Robin Williams. That if you haven't seen it is insane. I'm not going to say it's required watching for listening to next week's podcast, but it's really going to help.
We're going to do a movie night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but separately.
Yeah. And
Well-
without discussing it.
Yes. So we'll do a movie night, and then we'll come back and we'll listen to the podcast, and everybody listening is going to be able to judge whether we had better pitches or whether we just want to rewatch the film or not. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Theatre Pitch podcast. I've been Jem, this has been Joe and Sean, and we will talk to you, pitch, and see you however you want to consume our podcast.
Gemma,
in the
just
next
say
one.
bye.
Bye!
New suggestion for a sign-off we could have. All right, pitches, we out.